for heart-to-hearts. On that same trip, Harry confessed to me at a small drinks gathering at our hotel that he really wished he were just a normal guy who could pack up and spend a year in Brazil pursuing his own passions. He said that he hated smartphones being constantly thrust in his face, that the thrum of professional camera shutters going off sometimes made him feel physically ill. Carolyn and I always knew Harry dreamed of a life away from palace walls, but while travelling with the prince, particularly in the countryside, we noticed that his wish to be connected to everyday rural life was often accompanied by a sense of sadness. Although an impossibility, he wished to connect with the locals without the fuss his arrival always meant. Then, as now, Harry deeply craves normalcy of the kind his mother, Diana, tried to replicate for him on trips to amusement parks and McDonald's. How funny to know that the favourite part of a Happy Meal for this child, born of unimaginable wealth and privilege, was getting the cheap plastic toy inside. Harry is different from his brother William, who takes after their orderly and pragmatic granny, the Queen. He's emotional and clings to utopian ideals, yet, in his way, admirably so. His desire to live outside of the palace bubble, in everything from being a hugger at official engagements to insisting he serve on the front lines of war as a member of the armed forces, is a positive attribute, even if at times it causes problems for the rest of the royal family. His wholeheartedness allowed him to start a new chapter in royal history when he fell in love with Meghan Markle. Being a mixed-race Brit was one of the reasons that I, like a lot of the younger and more diverse demo the Duke and Duchess of Sussex turned into royal watchers, found the American actress marrying into the House of Windsor so fascinating. Funnily enough, I met Meghan before Harry did. Back in 2015, I chatted with her for the first time at a Fashion Week event in Toronto after she did press interviews on the carpet. No one was more amazed than me when, just a year later, Meg, as her close friends and now husband call her, captured the heart of the most eligible bachelor this side of the pond. Even in the early days of their relationship, it was clear that Harry had found a woman who awakened his sense of purpose, with humanitarian passions that mirrored his own drive to support those on the margins of society. The world watched in amazement as the couple's relationship rapidly developed. And Carolyn and I watched too as a number of tabloids went on to accuse Meghan of being a demanding and difficult social climber. Some of the British press did little to hide racial undertones in snarky commentary and headlines. The narrative that emerged was most surprising to Meghan, who brought to her charitable interests and official engagements as the newest member of the royal family the same go-get-em approach she's taken from the time she was an 11-year-old writing letters of protest to national leaders, including Hillary Clinton, over a sexist soap ad. It's not unknown for her to stay up late into the night before events, doing her own research and preparing her own notes, despite having a staff for just such work. "It's the only way I know how to do it," she confessed to me. That's part of what made the prince declare he'd found the teammate he had always been looking for. So, it was a surreal moment to be giving Meghan a big farewell hug in one of the staterooms at Buckingham Palace in March 2020, as she wrapped her last solo royal engagement. She and Harry had made the difficult decision to step back as senior working royals in a bid to protect their family. We had only been in the opulent 1844 room for only happy occasions, such as engagements with the Queen or media receptions. Now, even the malachite candelabras illuminating portrait paintings cast a gloomy light as the newest members of the royal family were saying goodbye, not just to their staff, but to an entire way of life. Carolyn and I had been with Meghan for her final engagements, but it was still hard to believe that this would be the last one. Staff, who had been with the couple from day one, were mourning the end of what was supposed to be a happy story. Two people fall in love, get married, have a baby, serve the Queen, the end. Instead, they were leaving the country. As Meghan gave me a final hug goodbye, she said, "It didn't have to be this way." Yes,